post NES Marathon CU podcast for March 12th, post daylight savings time, or in daylight savings time. I don't know. It's March 12th, 2019.
That's all that matters.
That's Ian Ferguson rocking the Luna hoodie. I'm Pat Contry rocking a home shirt that I never wore before. Has a Millennium Falcon on it. Anyway, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're talking about the Doom Annihilation trailer. We're talking about a little Captain Marvel, since we both actually saw a movie for once, discussing on the podcast. That's my version of Ian hating me not playing modern games. I hate when Ian doesn't see the movies. NWC was found, another one in the wild. Ronda Rousey says wrestling is fake and scripted, and that bothers us. Well, it bothers me at least. We have a Patreon Q&A and regular Q&A. So, Ian, we finally did the 9th annual NES Charity Marathon. We delayed it, but you know what? It's probably better to do it in spring because there's less going on. There's less conventions. The holidays not coming up.
It's true. November is always a tough time to do it. We only ever settled on that date in the first place was we started doing it in the fall because of the Nintendo's 25th anniversary.
Yep, in 2010.
At the time.
Yep. So we did October 18th the first year.
Right.
And then Portland started happening like around then. So we tried to do it for a few years, like a week before after Portland, and we did it, but it took so much out of us. So we moved it to November, and then that didn't help that much. So it's just a rough time of year, but we got it done.
Yes.
We raised over $12,000 with your assistance for Rady Children's Hospital, a nonprofit hospital and pediatric hospital in San Diego. So they're very happy. They might want to have us out for one of those weird fake giant check things. I want to do it because I don't think I'll ever be able to do that again in my life. So I'm gonna get back to them and see if they want to do it. You can still actually donate, I believe. I think I set up for the middle of this week at nesmarathon.com. Your pal Steve.
Yeah, he
put in 1,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Thanks, Steve Jablonski.
Thank you, Steve.
You could have. Okay, we're gonna roll that over next year. You can sponsor a whole hour. So we're at 13,304.
Yes.
Thanks so much to everyone. Our sponsors, Steve Jablonski, Portland Retro Gaming Expo, Screenwave Media, me. Who else we have? We had Castlemania, Rockheart Clothing, Limited Run Games. And then the one that just came off the top of my head because you just said it. And now Video Game History Foundation.
Yes.
I think that covers all. Thanks to all the sponsors. Thanks to everyone who donated. It was a lot of fun. I like the new format a lot. I'm not sure why we got less money than last year. That bothers me because I have a pride thing going on with that. Could be the time of year. That could be people that might have less money with taxes and things like that. I don't know. But or maybe they don't. I hope they wouldn't mind if it's a local cause versus last time we did it was for AmeriCares. But either way, it's a lot of money. It's for a great cause, and it was a lot of fun. You know.
Indeed, I agree.
There's a few highlights.
Yes.
And this year, unlike last year, I highlighted the whole thing on Twitch, so it doesn't disappear on Twitch. I still have last year's, but the local file. But I should have highlighted the whole thing. I realized you have to do that to save it forever. So you can go on to twitch.tv/CountryCode, and you can rewatch the whole thing, and you can still donate till that. So there was some great moments. There was my Legend of Zelda rant. In the early Sunday morning or wee hours Saturday night before I crashed, and then there was also the mystery pizza. We don't know who delivered the pizza. Yep. I have a couple suspects in mind who delivered a mystery pizza.
Yeah, I have no idea.
What were some of your moments that you liked, that you remembered, that you recalled? Vonnie blew up your spot about the Bloodsport shirt, which I loved.
I enjoyed doing some of the live reads on Saturday night. Alex and I went off on one of them.
Oh, did you? Was I around for that?
Yeah, you were around for that. I'm
okay.
Pretty sure you were. And I really enjoyed the whole saga of playing Atlantis.
Oh, yes.
Escape from Atlantis.
Well, you wanted to quit. I wanted to keep going. And that was when we had the most viewers. I think we were on front pages of Twitch. We had like over 5,000 people at one point. And we were like 33% through Escape from Atlantis, which was during the Video Game History Foundation block, because that was an unreleased game that was saved from Color Dreams. Maybe not all games need to be saved. I'll just say that was a little rough. Escape from Atlantis. So that's all up on there. So no need for any marathon moments. You can just go back and watch them yourself in the future. There's also a few days left on a certain SNES Kickstarter. It's going to be until Friday night at midnight or Saturday morning at midnight, however way you want to say it. And it's at ultimatesnes.com. I think we reached over 1,000 backers, and then I'm going to be streaming. I believe I'm going to try to stream. Oh my God, I'm going to try to stream Super Nintendo games on my Friday night if I'm around, up until the end of it. We'll see, because I haven't done that before. this is the start of Pat's Twitch career. Maybe we'll see. And I'll use the Super NT over there with the flash card to do it. I think I'll try that with the Elgato. I'll try that. Ian's excited for the end of the Kickstarter. He's very excited for it.
Excited for everything right now.
Excited for everything. So we saw Captain Marvel.
Yes.
I saw it opening night on Thursday night. I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I would put it somewhere in the middle of the Marvel movies. You know, it's probably I enjoyed Ant-Man more, so I put it below Ant-Man, but it's above Iron Man 2. You know, so you know, it was fine. The problem at this point with these movies is that I'm tired of seeing origin movies. There's been so many origin movies.
Sure.
And in the Captain Marvel's credit, they try to weave it in throughout the movie, the origin. Like, you don't actually see, spoilers, how Captain Marvel gets her powers until like 3/4 through the movie. You actually see like the moment. So that was interesting to me. But it seemed kind of it almost seemed like in the middle of the movie they didn't know what to do. There's a lot of like in the middle of the movie where not a whole lot happens besides exposition and flashbacks, and I thought the movie kind of dragged in the middle until it got closer to the end. And yeah, I thought it was okay, but I don't think it's one of those Marvel movies I would revisit.
I liked it more than that. I really enjoyed the story. Thought Ben Mendelsohn's acting was effing fantastic.
Mendelsohn was a highlight. I really should have said that. He was great.
He was insanely good.
Yes.
I thought Brie Larson did great. I don't know anything about her, so I was ambivalent about it, but I thought she did really well, and I thought she came across as as realistic as you can get in these situations. I thought they handled the confusion of her situation, I think, fairly well.
For not knowing like who she was.
Yes.
Yeah, they did okay job.
I thought the story was great. I enjoyed a lot of it. There were a few things that I did not love about it. I don't love on-the-nose nostalgia that much.
Yeah, someone told me beforehand that, there's not too many moments. There's a lot of moments that are on the nose.
It's not
with the 90s.
It's not as bad.
I checked out when No Doubt I'm Just a Girl started playing during the fight scene. I checked out. I said that's totally not needed.
I thought it was fine.
There's no other Marvel movie you would need to do that during the time period to hammer not just a theme that she's a woman, a superhero, but also this is the mid-90s. Let's play No Doubt.
I mean, all the music was 90s, and all the music tied into the scene at some point.
But during the action scene, I that's where I was like, I didn't.
Yeah.
I saw what it didn't. They went for a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. It didn't work for me. That's all.
It was fine for me. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't think there was any huge issue there.
But you had Blockbuster show up, which was cute. You had payphone stuff like throughout the movie. You had her trying to. The dial-up thing was funny though. Trying to use the dial-up at an internet cafe. That was funny.
That was funny. It was also funny watching them load the CD. So
wait. The CD-ROM loading doesn't take that long to load an audio file. It was funny to see it loading up. It was funny.
So it
Goose the Cat ruled.
Goose was great. The movie wasn't nearly as on the nose as say something like Ready Player One, which
for the nostalgia.
The entire reason for that fucking movie was nostalgia. This was good. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot that I need to be reminded of the 90s. I do think Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson were fantastic together.
They had pretty good chemistry.
I think they were great. So I thought the acting was really good throughout it. I thought a lot of the characters were handled well.
Writing I thought was a little shaky at points.
I liked the story. I just didn't necessarily like the crazy on the nose nostalgia. And every time I watch a movie like this, I'm reminded that I'm really just not that into CG.
Yeah, I think
it was fine, but CG just takes me out of movies, and that's not just Marvel movies. That's all movies. And as time goes on and I get older and crankier, I realize that I just don't like it in the amount that it's used.
The only thing I would say, I don't think the action was shot interestingly at all. It was very pedestrian, very almost TV style action shots where it was not many interesting angles or sequences. It was just like, punch, kick, punch, shoot someone with a blaster. The next person comes, punch, kick, punch. There was nothing about the action I can go back and say was like really wowed me with that. Of course, Captain Marvel gets power up at the end, shoots through a couple of ships. Even that seemed like they were holding back on something, either budget wise, or it just seemed like there could have been more to the action at the end. It was the big moment, and then the ships come after. She destroys some ships, but it just almost seemed like something was held back there. So, like I said, I enjoyed it. Ben Mendelsohn was great. Like, he was fantastic as the Skrull leader. The humor was great. How he was like quirky.
Palace, yeah.
One of the best moments in the movie. I laughed the most when they're at the farmhouse for Captain Marvel's friend, who was in the Air Force with her. And then, the Skrull pretends to be the mom outside with the little girl, threatening her. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And the Skrull's like, "Yeah. Like, what do you like? I know it's crappy, but I gotta do this."
When he brings her in,
yeah,
and she turns around, yeah, that was funny.
It's funny because it humanizes the Skrulls. To that point, you're thinking that they're the ultimate bad guys. That's how they're presented, and then it sort of flips it. It's on its head right there.
See, I love that. I mean, there were issues with the movie, but overall, the stuff that I enjoyed about it, I liked way more than the stuff that I did not like.
I just thought the writing could have been tighter. I thought everyone, I mean, the villain twist I saw coming within 10 minutes. Like they didn't mask it at all. It was like, oh, well, like you don't think the guy that trained Captain Marvel knew her history? He's like trying to know, I don't know what's going on Earth. Like, what? That's weird. You're showing up in a file. So it was fine though. They threw in Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy. That seemed a little bit just tacked on. They didn't need him in there at all, just to tie in the universe to Guardians of the Galaxy, because he doesn't really do anything but just look and say a few lines there. But anyway, so it was fun. I'd say go see it. There's some, you might like some nostalgia. Don't go for the action. I thought was weak, but Goose the Cat ruled.
See, I liked the action.
I didn't like the action.
I didn't love it, but I liked it better, and I didn't get any moments. For instance, Black Panther had great action, but the end took me out of Black Panther.
The CG was terrible at the end.
And just like the end of Iron Man 3 took me out of it, and I really liked that movie.
Just too much CG.
The action was action in Captain Marvel. I don't think it was bad, but it wasn't anything insane.
It was ordinary. It was ordinary. And for a superhero movie, that should be a crime. You should not have an ordinary action sequence. Like, Ant-Man tries to keep it fresh and interesting because of his powers. With Captain Marvel just being like, shooting photon beams and flying around, I guess there's less interesting things you can do with that sort of power.
Well, once you get to a certain level in terms of how powerful a character is, the combat gets less interesting.
Sure, because there's no stakes anymore, too.
Right.
When you can destroy battleships in space and you can't get killed, really. That's why I don't like. That's why Superman's always tougher to write for, because he's overpowered, and it's really, really tough to kill. But we got Avengers in like 6 weeks only.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Looking forward to it.
And then looking forward to Pat crying if a character dies. I'll be bawling like a baby.